Good morning and welcome to Rising. We have another great show for you today. It is Tuesday morning. Hello, Lindsay. How are you?
A good cold Tuesday morning, but I saw the alert on the weather app that we're getting in the 70s next week in D.C. I don't know about y'all back at home, but that makes me very happy. I know it makes you extremely happy, so you can show all those pearly whites.
A lot of back and forth weather in the last few days.
The dramatic change is not great.
It was snowing yesterday. I got snowed on. I was walking to lunch. I don't usually go to a fancy lunch, but I went to a fancy lunch yesterday. A friend of mine had his mother visiting from England.
Oh, wow.
And we took a walk, and it snowed on us.
A friend of yours decided to introduce you to his mother?
Yeah,
no,
we like
joking.
to meet the moms. We like to meet the moms. When my
joking,
mom
Robby.
comes to town, you can meet her. It's a lot.
I want to be invited to dinner with your mom. She's come to town twice already, I think, since I've been here.
Yeah.
All right, the third one I want to be invited. Coming up on Rising, Secretary of State Marco Rubio faced heat for his comments on the Trump administration's rationale for striking Iran.
Plus, First Lady Melania Trump made history by taking the gavel at the United Nations Security Council, but some on the left weren't happy about that or anything else in their lives.
And the Department of Education hung a banner of the late conservative activist Charlie Kirk, which really sparked some online debate. But first, Robby, what's on your radar?
Oh, I am so entertained. The House Oversight Committee released more than 8 hours of testimony yesterday depicting Bill and Hillary Clinton testifying as to their relationship or lack thereof with Jeffrey Epstein. Guess what? I spent my entire evening watching it. The entire thing, the whole thing. I popped some popcorn, I uncorked a bottle of wine, I adjusted the speed to 2 times faster, and I took it all in. And I was highly entertained, as I said. Mostly by Hillary, who I'll turn to in a minute. But as for Bill Clinton, the former president, who's almost 80 years old and, to be clear, is very much showing his age, which he acknowledged, he had flown on Epstein's plane at least 17 times. He denied, however, ever visiting Epstein's island or having any knowledge of Epstein's crimes or participating in any illicit activity with underage girls, though he did admit he received a back rub from a flight attendant on one of the flights. Now, probably the biggest news was that Bill Clinton stated unequivocally under oath and on the record that he spoke to Donald Trump about Epstein in the early 2000s and that Bill Clinton has no reason to believe Trump knew anything about Epstein's crimes, nor was Trump involved in Epstein's crimes in any way. Clinton stated that Trump said they had a falling out over land deal. Take a look.
I hate this, but because I don't believe I should inject anything. But I do not want to leave the impression, since there was no follow-up question. The president never, this is 20-something years ago, never said anything to me to make me think he was involved in anything improper with regard to Epstein either. He just didn't. He just said we were friends, and then we had a falling out over a land deal, property deal.
Hillary Clinton's deposition was also informative. Hillary came across as very sharp and intelligent, candid, and I say that as someone who was utterly opposed to her candidacy for president and has openly criticized her as a political figure for years. I even appreciated Hillary getting a little feisty with Lauren Boebert, who shared a photo of Clinton at the deposition publicly on social media, despite an order that this be a closed-door hearing. And that irritated Clinton because Clinton, had pressed for a public hearing, so it was understandable that she wanted those rules followed since Comer opted for a private hearing. Take a look.
Photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying from inside this room. Can you please advise me as to whether or not that's permissible and consistent with the rules, particularly given that we have asked for a public hearing? If there are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying, can you please explain how that
I'm done with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So I would like to understand how that's permissible.
Before the hearing was.
It doesn't matter. We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So
well.
I would like to take a break at this moment.
Yeah.
Honestly, I see Clinton's point, but the deposition did continue, and now the entire video is available for your perusal. For her part, Clinton denied ever meeting Epstein even once. She said that while she wanted to be helpful to the committee, she had absolutely no information to offer them. She answered the same questions over and over again for 4 hours. She didn't meet Epstein. She didn't know about his crimes. Please direct your inquiries to the Department of Justice. Hillary also got, to be fair, the better of Representative Nancy Mace, who tried to grill the former First Lady about her relationship with Trump's Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, someone Clinton met because Lutnick's firm had lost hundreds of people on 9/11. Mace tried to suggest that through Lutnick, Clinton had some kind of Epstein fundraising connection, but Clinton pointed out that connection would be between Lutnick and Epstein, not between Clinton and Epstein, so probably they should ask him about it.
You asked the question. I'm going to answer your question.
Now you're gonna yell
This
at
was
me?
what I spent
You're
my
going to yell at me.
time doing.
I'm a
I
survivor
spent
trying to look out for other survivors trying to
and
get to the
I
bottom
was
of it.
taking care
You
of
waited
the
6
people who
months to
lost
get here today.
3,000
6 months,
lives
and now you're being
at World
defiant
Trade
and
Center.
indignant today.
You asked me
I
about
have met
Howard
with Epstein
Lutnick.
survivors. I'm a survivor myself. You have emails. You've denied that that you tried to get Jeffrey Epstein to give money to you.
I did
but
not.
Howard Lutnick was
If
used
you
to
have an
get
email
money.
with me asking Jeffrey
I
Epstein
have
for
an
money,
email from Howard Lutnick sending it to
what's
Jeffrey
the question?
Epstein and his people to raise money for
I don't
you
know about-
for an event, an intimate event for you at his offices
Well,
at Cantor Fitzgerald. You're
look,
going to sit
if
here
you-
today
if you would
and
let me
and
finish.
upset
Once again, point to Hillary. Now, after sitting for 4 hours and 8 minutes, she did eventually become even more frustrated than that.
You have said that you have never been to Mr. Epstein's island. Is that correct?
You
You've
know
never
what?
been.
I am so tired of answering that question. If you have one scintilla of evidence to the contrary, put it forward. I have never been on his island, period. I've never been in his homes, his offices, his anything. So I don't know how many times you have to say the same thing over and over and over again. And I just am struggling with the relevance of all of this. But no, I never have been.
So there it is. Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton answered questions for hours about what they know or what they don't know. What the Democrats are going to do next, I can guarantee you, is demand that Trump do the same. And frankly, that's what this was really about. And supporters of the president really got to start asking questions about whether this ever expanding inquiry is about getting at the truth, or is it about looking for dirt on Trump, dirt that I do not believe exists. And Bill Clinton doesn't believe it exists either.
Okay.
Fun stuff.
It was quite entertaining, and I really appreciated the disposition of Hillary Clinton throughout the entire.
Yeah, and I say that as someone who never voted for Hillary Clinton, doesn't support Hillary Clinton, has opposed her. But I'm not alone. If you look at social media, every conservative I know is saying, okay, Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace embarrassed themselves, and she
Lauren Boebert in particular, because she left the meeting, and I remember she was on camera saying, like, I took that picture before it started. I was granted permission. So she just made up a whole lie and was
wanted
confident.
to be public.
Right.
They wanted the whole thing public.
And Lauren Boebert was so confident to then see her in the, like, we have the tape of her, like, cowering. I'm sorry, I'll delete it now. That is embarrassing. The whole thing is embarrassing.
And then Nancy Mace was like, again, an email that Lutnick sent to Epstein.
It doesn't make any sense.
And then she's like, well, but I'm a survivor, so you can't. What are you doing, lady?
Okay, now to scale back from the antics of Nancy Mace, perhaps, and Lauren Boebert, people wanted transparency. They wanted to understand in detail the connections between Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. So in my mind, that doesn't seem partisan. Also, if Lutnick may be deposed, that doesn't seem partisan to me. So if Trump is asked to be deposed next, this cannot be all in you can't make a city out of a couple of bricks. That it all was leading to that happening. That can happen and we can be done with it.
That's why they did this.
No, that can happen and we can be done with it, and Robbie. We can get the same type of answers and everyone can be done. That's what we can't avoid the inevitable.
No, I know. Bill and Hillary agreed to do this to help the Democrats in their argument that they have to get Trump to do this too. I absolutely believe it. And Hillary knew she could do it confidently because she has nothing to hide. She's never met him on this front.
I don't know if they died on the sword for this. I think they did it because
they're not dying because this doesn't look bad for them.
Right. I think they did it because they
information.
were like, listen, even though we are not tied to Epstein in this way, particularly Hillary, we're still going to come forward and get this done because if you guys are asking for anybody extremely powerful or anybody extremely well off that may have connected to Epstein in any real way that may tie into a crime, let's transparently let everyone know that is not us. And I think the president should do the same thing. And then the 2 million files left over should be released.
Yes,
and we can be done.
I agree.
That's so you can't be frustrated before it's complete. The law requires this to be completely seen through.
I know.
So the president should be deposed, and the 2 million pages should come out, and then we will put it to bed like you want to. If you want your goal to be reached, we have to do everything required of this investigation.
One other thing I need to say on this before we go. I found her interest. She was questioned. Again, she never met Epstein. She's never been to the island. She doesn't really know anything. But she was questioned about, and she was willing to engage this line of questioning. She thought it was interesting too, his connections to intelligence, the possibility that a foreign government was using him. She didn't say that's malarkey, I don't know anything about that. She said, well, if that was that she had no information about it, but she wouldn't put it past foreign governments, basically.
Right.
So it was an interesting.
So some good information came out of this. Then it was worth it.
Yes, as I've said, the intelligence stuff has always been the most fertile grounds for an Epstein inquiry, not the sex trafficking cabal, of which the evidence is slight. The intelligence stuff, the financial crimes, more solid. And yeah, man, it was like seeing a fan favorite character from a former season. God, I miss the old girl. Anyway, till the cows come home. Great line. Secretary of State Marco Rubio receiving backlash even from Trump supporters over his explanation of why the U.S. attacked Iran. What he said coming up. We'll be right back.